The hallmarks of a democracy.
Freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech, freedom of love, freedom of who you choose to live, where to go. But we have to have the freedom of democracy and rules in the Constitution. And we have to have, the reason why we're the powerful country in the world is because we have a Constitution.
Pluralism, freedom of speech, freedom of worship, freedom of self-expression, those are the First Amendment to me because it's the first, it's the priority. Everything else is secondary to that.
To be unafraid to exercise that freedom of speech, and unafraid of retribution, unafraid of being arrested for speaking your mind. Freedom of the press, being able to report and being able to have a seat in the room where it's happening. And may that be a broad range of viewpoints in that room, and not press that is only going to write things that are flattering.
I don't know how much I hold as sacred democracy as I hold as sacred the closely related concept of self-governance.
Integrity in your government systems. So not just voting, but also in your judiciary. You need to have an even-keeled administration of the law, what we call the rule of law.
Checks and balances. That's really important. We have 3 different spaces.
Being willing to compromise and see the humanity in the person that you disagree with. No, the whole Voltairean thing, no matter how much I disagree with you, I respect your right to have your opinion. But free speech is a fundamental. You lose free speech, you lose the rest.
We have to look at it, democracy is a freedom of choice. And there's no wrong issue, it's just making a choice.
Well, I think it's a blessing we live in a democracy till we get an option to choose. Regardless if we don't feel heard, at least we can vote.
And I suppose you also need a certain cultural or moral foundation to be held in common, or society falls apart, whatever that is.
If I had to choose between my sacred value is democracy, rule of the people, and my sacred value is pluralism, not that either of those two really make it to the top of my personal stake, but just for the sake of argument, pluralism is more important to me than democracy.
If you take the founding fathers, what they said originally they wanted to be independent, have a country of their own. A lot of them were young men who were taxed. But then you take what the British did to them. The British didn't believe in any slavery. So there was the economy. A democracy is when you say, I'm voting for this because it's going to help the greater good. But we have lost that in our society. We realized people are not getting the greater good, the unhoused, all the things, all the people who don't have anything.
To denigrate philosophy as Plato would, like, is it mob rule? Is it majority rule plus one? Or is it that the hallmark of a society I want to live in is that pluralism, that we are choosing to get along with each other even though we hold different perspectives? Like we're holding as the greatest value that we're trying to create a harmony here. We're not trying to create a dominance of one group over another. That to me is more important. So the more we show signs of that happening, that's more the kind of government that I like. But you don't need to worship what we worship. You can do your own thing. Don't harm other people. I'm more interested in that.